Yeah, this is question number 28. Question number 28 said, find the equation of a line perpendicular to a line 2y equals to 5x plus 4, which passes through this point. They now give us option. What does this mean? To be clear, this means solution. Look at the solution. Let's go to solution. This means a line. Look at the line. This line. For this line to be a perpendicular across this man. Okay, let me draw it properly. This is a perpendicular across this man. And this is the line which passed through the points. Let's say I call this point, look at the point they call this point 4 and 2, which passed through this point. And this is the line he passed through. Then in this point, I cannot call this point here, because before this line can pass through this, it must pass a point. I call this point X and Y. Are you get what I'm saying now? An equation of this line, which the line is perpendicular to, I call this man now. That equation is given to me. Look at the equation, which is 2y equals to what? 4, 5x plus what? 4. This is the equation of this line. And the slope of this line, which this line calls perpendicular, the slope, I label it as M1. That's the slope. Slope M1, slope of that is equals to M1. Then this man, its own slope of this line, the slope of this line, I call it what? M2. You will now see that this line is perpendicular to this line, and this man has this slope, while this man has this slope. And our proof said that these two slopes, M1, M2, is equals to minus 1. Because of their perpendicular, our proof says that when this line is perpendicular to this line, that the slope of this line times the slope of this line will give me, minus 1. Then what does it mean? That means I have to get the slope of this line. I have to get this. But they didn't give me the equation of this line. The equation they give me, the equation which is perpendicular to, which is this man. I have to get its what? Slope. Then what will I do? I will not say that what? 2y equals to 5x plus 4. I have to arrange it. Making y subject to formula, I will have that what? 5x plus 4 divided by 2. And this will land me to what? 5x all over 2 plus 4 all over 2. And this will leave me with 5x over 2 plus 2. Which simply means that my y is equals to what? 5 over 2x plus what? 2. That's it. I cannot say slope. Remember, slope, which is what? M1 is equals to dy dx. That's change in y over change in what? X. What does it mean? The slope, let me write it for your secondary school, said what? Change in y, y2 minus y1 all over what? X2 minus x1, which means dy dx. Then what am I differentiating now? I'm differentiating this, which will give me d 5x over 2 plus what? 2 all over dx. And differentiating this man, I will now say that M1, which is my slope, is equals to d 5 over 2x all over dx plus d 2 all over dx. I'm differentiating this. Then when I differentiate this man, it will give me my slope is equals to this man differentiating this is raised to power 1. I take it become 1 times 5 over x raised to power 1 minus 1 plus differentiating this man, it does not contain 0. Since it does not contain x, this man now does not contain x, because when I said dy dx means differentiate y in respect to x. Any value that doesn't contain x should be what? 0. When I say dy dx means differentiate y in respect to x. And in that differentiation, any person that you meet and it doesn't contain x, immediately you differentiate it, it's going to be what? 0. That means that person is what? Constant. So d2 dx will give me what? 0, because 2 does not contain x. I will have that m1 is equals to what? 1 times anything is that thing, which give me this will give me x raised to power 0. And anything raised to power 0 is 1. That means 5 over 2 into 1. And that means 5 over what? 2 is my m1. That's how I've gotten my m1. Then I can now say, remember what we said, that what? m1, m2 is equals to minus 1. Therefore, I cannot carry this to put from m1, which is 5 over what? 2, times what? m2, and is equals to minus 1. Then making this subject of formula, I can now say that m2 is equals to what? m2 is equals to minus 2 over 3. You know what I did? What did I do there? You know what I did to get this m2 to be this? You remember that what we have there is what? 5 over what? 2 times what? m2 over 1 and is equals to minus 1. Cross multiplication give me 5 m2 all over what? 2 and is equals to minus 1. All over 1. Cross multiplication, I'll have 5 m2 is equals to minus 2. Therefore, m2 is equals to minus 2 divided by what? 5. And that's how I get this. Minus 2 divided by 5. I mean to say not 3. Divided by what? 5. That's what we get there. And as I've gotten m2 is the slope of this line now, which is slope of this line, which is m2, is equals to what? The slope is equals to what? Minus 2 over what? 5. Then what will I do? The slope of this line, can I complete it here? Slope of this line, the slope of this line cannot be said that what? Slope is equals to, which is m what? 2 is equals to what? Y minus what? X. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus what? x1. And what is my y2? My y2 is this, which give me what? Y minus what? What is my y1, which is what? 2, which is 2 like this. Look at this. My y1 is 2. My y2 is what? Y. Then all over, then my x2 is x. Why my x1 is what? 4. That's minus 4. Are you getting what I'm saying? My y2 is this y minus what? y1, which is what? 2. All over what? My x2 is this x minus what? X what? 1, which is what? 4. I will now say that my slope m what? 2 is equals to y minus 2 all over x minus what? 4. You remember that what they gave me as my slope, what I got as my slope is minus 2 over what? 5 is equals to y minus 2 all over x minus 4. Can I come over here to complete? But minus what? 2 all over what? 5 is equals to what? Y minus 2 all over what? X minus what? 4. Cross multiplication, I can now say that 5 into y minus 2 equals to what? Minus 2 into x minus what? 4. And this will give me 5y minus 10 and is equals to minus 2x plus what? 8. Minus times plus, the minus will give me plus what? 8. Collecting, I cannot say that this gives me what? 5y, this will be equals to what? Collecting this come over, I have what? Minus what? Which is this man coming over become plus what? 2x. And this man coming over here become minus 10 minus what? 8 and is equals to 0. You know what I did? Everything here coming over here. This man come over here become plus. Why this man coming over here become minus. And anything here will be 0. Everything I have left, the only thing left here is 0. I'll have 5y plus what? 2x minus what? 18 equals to what? 0. That's the equation of this line that is perpendicular to this man. That's the equation of this line that is perpendicular to this man. Then let us look at our option to look which one is the answer. I cannot see it here that this man, this is the real answer. I cannot say my answer is option what? B. There is question number 29. Question number 29 said if an operation, multiplication of operation of m and n is equals to this, for any real numbers m and n, find the value of x. Look at the option given to us. This is a simple question which we can say solution. This is a solution. And we have what they give me, m operation multiplication of n equals to what? N minus into what? M plus what? 2. And what they said I should find 3 operation what? Into minus what? Into minus 5. Then what does this mean? It means I will now use 3 to substitute for what? M. Use minus 5 to substitute for what? N. I will not go. That means this man is goes for this man and this man goes for this man. I will have what? M. N is minus what? 5. Minus into M is what? 3. Plus what? 2. And this will give me minus 5. Minus what? 5 again. This is a 5. This plus this will give me 5. And my answer become minus what? 10. And my answer now in my option is this, which is X, which is what? C. I will say my answer is option what? C. Yeah, this is the question number 30. Question number 30 said, a binary operation on this, which is multiplication, is defined by this equals to this. If this is equals to this, find the possible values of x. This is a multiplication sign. This is a multiplication sign. We should find the possible value of x. And this is option given to us. Let's look at our solution so that we can be able to select the correct option there. Then in our solution, what they gave me is that what? X, that's the operation, this y is equals to x raised to power y. Then they now said if, what's the condition? They said if this man, this operation 2 is equals to what? 2 minus what? X. What do they mean? That I can substitute, what do they mean? I should substitute this man inside this. And when I do that, I have that this become what? X operation was 2. Meaning that x now, that's why I have turned to the word 2, and it will give me what? X raised to power what? 2. That's what I mean. Y have turned to 2, it will now give me what? X raised to power 2. That implies that this man is equals to this, right? And again, the same this man is equals to this. Are you getting what I'm talking about? That implies after I've taken it to what? Put in this what? The equation. I have this, that this man is equals to this. And the same this man is equals to this. That implies that this is equals to this. So I can equate this to this. I have that what? 2 minus, I have that what? X squared is equals to what? 2 minus what? X. And what does it mean? I can now bring it in to say x squared plus what? X minus what? 2 is equals to 0. You know what I did? This man coming over here become plus, this man coming over here become minus, and equals to nothing remaining here, giving me what? 0. I have formed quadratic equation. Then I can now use what? Factorization to what? Solve this. Then what will I do first? To factorize, I'll first do what? First, what will I do? I'll say x squared times what? Minus 2. And that give me minus what? 2x raised to power 2. That's what it is. I will now ask myself, what will I multiply together that will give me minus what? 2x. When I add the same that thing together, it will give me what? It will give me the x. What will I multiply together that will give me two values that I will multiply together that will give me minus what? 2x. When I add the same that value together, it will give me what? X. What is it going to be? I can now say this. The value is what? Minus what? X times what? Times what? 2 what? Times 2x. Times 2x will give me minus what? 2x what? Squared. And the minus x plus what? 2x. The answer will be what? X. That implies that I can use this. I can use this value to substitute for this man here. I can use that value to substitute for that man here. And that gives me that my equation, can I do it here? My equation becomes x squared minus x plus 2x, and the minus what? 2 equals to what? 0. Can we come up over here to solve it? I'll have x squared minus what? X plus 2x minus what? 2 is equals to 0. Then now I can share it. I have x squared minus x in bracket plus, look at my plus, in bracket 2x minus 2 in bracket equals to what? 0. What is common among these? X. I can bring the x out. What does it mean? X divide this man will leave me with the x. X divide this x will leave me with 1. If I open this bracket, I'll come back to this. This time this will give me this. This time this will give me this. That means x can divide this and divide this. That's why I bring it and I call it common. What is common here? 2. 2 can divide this and divide this. I have 2. 2 divide this man will leave me with x. 2 divide this will leave me with 1 and is equals to what? 0. I cannot say that x plus what? 2, which is this, plus what? This and this are common. I can take one of them, which is what? This, and is equals to what? 0. For these two things to multiply themselves, look at these two things are jamming themselves and the answer is 0. For two of this and this to jam themselves, multiply themselves and the answer becomes 0. It implies that either one of them is what? 0, or two of them is 0. Either this man is 0 or this man is 0, or two of them are 0. That's what causes it for them to multiply themselves and answer becomes 0. Therefore, I can say u are the 0, x plus what? 2, u are the 0. Then I cannot say that x is equal to what? Minus 2. Or no, u are the 0. That's x minus 1, u are the 0. And therefore, x will now become what? 1. That's this minus 1 goes over here, become 1. This plus 2 goes over here, become minus 2. That's how I get it. Therefore, I cannot say that x value is what? 1 and what? Minus what? 2. That's the value of x. I can go to my option and check which one is correct. I have plus 1 and I have minus 1, which is here. And I say my answer is option what? A. That's my answer. This is question number 31. Question number 31 said, a binary operation multiplication is defined by a multiply b equals to ab plus a plus b for any real number a and b. If the identity element is 0, that means they are giving us an identity element to be 0, then find the inverse of 2 under this operation. We should find the inverse of 2 under this operation. Solution. Look at what they mean by this. It's a simple question. They give us this. Look at the operation they give us. B equals to what? A, B plus what? A plus what? B. They say we should get inverse of 2 under this operation. What it means that A is 2. With this operation, what's the inverse of 2? 2 raised to the power minus 1. So what it means that whenever I see B, I put what? 2 raised to the power minus 1. I get what I'm saying now. Then the first thing I would do is this man, inverse of A, the same thing as what? This man, inverse of what? A. This man is this, and this man is also this minus 1, and inverse of what? 2. This and this are the same, and is equals to what? Identity element. That's what it means. That's my equation 1. Then my equation 2, from this man, that's what I need this. I have this. My equation 2 will be also that this man, which is what? 2, this man now is 2, going to this, giving me inverse of 2, which is this. Are you get what I'm saying? That? Then equals to. That means whatever. You know what? The first thing I did, so that it will not be confused over this. The first thing I did is that taking this particular man, I know that this man now, this man I take is 2 times inverse of 2 will give me inverse of 2 times 2 will still give me what? Identity element. What's the identity element? 1. Inverse of 2 times 2 will give me what? 1. That's the identity element. But they told me that the identity element is 0 on this. So that's, but what I know that inverse of a number times that number will give me what? Identity element. And that's what I've proved now. I said is equals to what? Identity element. I said equation 1. I go back to what they gave me. And I say this man, which is what? 2. Because they say I should get inverse under 2. This man, which is what? 2. Inverse of him is what? Minus what? 2. 2 raised to the power minus 1. That means wherever I see B and A, I will put this value. What is A? 2 here. What is B? Times what? The inverse. Sorry. Times inverse. Plus, what is A? 2. What is the B? Inverse. That's what I mean. By times what? Plus what? Inverse of 2. That's what I mean there. This is A. I put A 2. I put inverse of A. This. I put what? A 2. I put inverse, which is what? B. Then now, this man is equals to this. The same this man is equals to what? An identity element. This man is equals to identity element. This man is also equals to this. I can call this man equation what? 2. That implies that what? That 2 times what? 2 inverse plus what? 2 plus what? 2 inverse is equals to what? Identity element. And remember what they told me, that identity element is 0. And that means what? 2 times what? 2 minus 1 plus what? 2 plus what? 2 inverse is equals to what? 0. That's what they told me. If the identity element is what? 0. Come over here. If the identity element is equals to is what? 0. That means my identity element is what? 0. I first of all do that, and that's give me 0. I can come over here to finish it. I will not say that what? 2 times what? 2 inverse plus what? 2 plus 2 inverse is equals to 0. Correcting like term. This man does not contain inverse. I will now have 2 what? Inverse plus 2 inverse is equals to, taking this man over here become minus what? 2. Look at this. It's alone. It doesn't contain inverse. It come over here. I'm looking for inverse. Then inverse is common here. I can bring it out. 2 raised to power minus 1, which is inverse, into what will remain when I remove it. I have 2. Then what will remain here when I remove this man? It will be what? 1. What does it mean? 2 inverse. Inverse of 2 divide this will leave me with 2. Inverse of this, inverse of 2 divide this will leave me with 1. That's what I mean. What is common among this? What is common here? Which is what? Inverse of 2. Inverse of 2 divide 2 in 2 times 2 inverse. It will leave me with 2. Inverse of 2 divide inverse of 2. It will leave me with 1. And this will be equals to what? Minus what? 2. If you open this bracket now, you have this. This, you have this. Therefore, 2 inverse is equals to minus what? 2 divided by what? 2 plus what? 1. And my answer become minus 2 all over what? 3. That makes that what? 2 inverse is equals to minus 2 over what? 3. And that's, I go to the what? Option. And I find out that option D is my answer. My answer is option what? D, which is my what? Answer. Then remember, what I did here is I first of all proved the what? Identity element. I first of all proved identity element that a number times its identity is equals to that identity times the number, and is equals to what? Identity what? Element. What did I mean? I said a number times its inverse, I mean to say, sorry for the first statement I made. I said a number times its what? State inverse is the same thing as inverse times that number. And the answer is the identity element. That's the first thing I proved. And I call it equation 1. Then now the second thing I did is that I now find what? Inverse of 2 under the operation. Under the same operation, I find inverse of 2 and I see it here. Then I call it equation 2. I can now equate this man to this. That's how I started solving it. And that's it. There is equation number 32. Question number 32 says 3y equals to 4x minus 1 and the ky equals to x plus 3 are equation of two straight lines. If the two lines are perpendicular to each other, find k. Oh, look at it. They say the two lines is what? Perpendicular. Just like the question we have solved before. We say solution. If the two lines are what? Perpendicular. For a line to be perpendicular, that means their slope, multiplication of the product of their slope is equals to -1. For a line, for two lines to be what? Perpendicular, it implies that what? The product of their slope is equals to -1. And that means that I'm taking the slope 1 and slope 2 to be equals to what? 1. Then, look at the two lines. Look at the equation of the first line. Look at the equation of the second line. Are you get what I'm saying? The previous question we answered, they give us only what? Equation of the other line. They didn't give us the other line. But right now, they give us the equation of this line, give us the equation of this line. What are we going to do? We find the slope of this equation, we find the slope of this equation, multiply them together, we'll get our answer. Can we see now? Let me go to that. I have 3y equals to what? 4x minus 1. What will I do? I make y subject of 1 by saying y is equals to 4x minus 1 divided by 3. And it's the same thing as 4 all over 3x minus 1 all over 3. These are the same thing, and these are divided by this. That's all. Then I can now say that my dy, which is my slope, I'm looking for what? M1, which is my slope, is equals to what? Slope, which we have done, is equals to what? Dy, d what? dx, which is changing y over changing x. Then I can now say is equals to d 4x all over what? 3 minus what? 1 all over what? 3 all over what? dx. Differentiating it now, I will have what? d4 all over 3x all over what? dx minus d1 all over what? 3 all over dx. Then can we come over here to finish it? I cannot say is equals to this 3 coming out. I will have what? What's this? Look at what we are putting here. D4 all over what? 3x all over dx. That's what I'm differentiating. Minus d1 over 3 all over dx. Now watch. This raised to power 1. I would say this is equals to 1 times 4 all over 3 x raised to power 1 minus 1 minus this man. It does not contain x. It doesn't have x with him. Therefore, when I differentiate him, I will have what? 0. Because 1 over 3 does not contain x at all. I differentiate it, it give me what? 0. Means that is a constant. Now I will have this to be what? 1 times anything will give me 4 over 3 and x raised to power 0. And anything raised to power 0 is equals to 4 over what? 3. Anything raised to power 0 is 1. And this will give me what? 4 over 3. That means my what? Slope, which is M1, is equals to 4 over what? 3. That's my slope for what? M1. I cannot go for the second equation. What's the second equation? Ky equals to what? X plus what? 3. Making y subject of formula, I will say y is equals to what? X plus what? 3 divided by what? K. And the same thing as what? X divided by k plus what? 3 divided by what? K. Then I cannot say dy d what? dx, which my slope 2. That's my slope 2 is equals to dy d what? X. And that gives me dx all over what? K plus what? 3 all over what? K all over dx. I will now start to differentiate them separate. I will have that this is same thing as what? I will have this to be what? The same thing as what? 1 dx all over what? K all over dx plus d3 all over what? K all over what? Dx. Then what will I do? And this thing is same thing. Look at it. This thing I write here, this might contain x. Therefore, it's the same thing as bringing 1 all over what? K out, differentiating what? X in respect to what? X. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Plus, this man now, it contains what? Doesn't contain x. What does it mean? It doesn't contain x. When I differentiate it, what very good. What I'm going to get is what? 0. This man does not contain x, so we have 3 over k. And we are differentiating this in respect to x. That means it doesn't contain x. If it doesn't contain x, if we differentiate it, we get 0. That means it's a constant. And this man does not contain x. Differentiate it, give me 0. And this man contains x. Therefore, k come out. Look at what I mean. X over k can be written as 1 over what? K times what? X. I think you know. This x over k can be written as 1 over k times what? X. And that's what we did here. I bring 1 over k out. I'm differentiating what? X. Are you following what I'm doing now? Because 1 over k have survived. Why it survived? Because it contained x. Is now what? Out because it survived. Are you get what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to, are you get what I'm saying? It will be what? That. Are you looking at me? Then now I will have this to be equals to what? 1 over what? K. Differentiating x will give me what? 1. And that will give me 1 over what? K. That's what I mean. Differentiating x, which is what? 1 times x minus 1 from it will give me what? Anything with support 0 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So differentiating x dx will give me what? 1. Dx will give me 1. So dx will give me 1. That's give me 1. Times this will give me I have what? M2 to be what? 1 over what? K. Now, I cannot go back to my what? This equation. I cannot go back to my what? Equation, which I proved before. What's the proof? I know that what? M2 is equals to minus what? 1. I cannot say my M1, I got it to be what? What do we got my M1 to be? I got it to be 4 over what? 3. 4 over 3 times my M2, look at here, my M2 is 1 over K. 1 over K. So now come over here, 1 over what? K is equals to minus 1. And this will give me what? 4 all over what? 3K. And is equals to minus 1 over 1. Cross multiplication. If I do cross multiplication, I will have that minus what? 3. I'll have 3K times minus 1 and is equals to what? 4 times what? 1. And that gives me minus 3k is equals to what? 4. Therefore, I cannot say that my what? K is equals to what? 4 divided by minus 3, which is the same thing as minus 4 over what? 3. That's my what? K. The value of k is minus 4 over 3. Let's go to the option there. We'll see that what? Option A, which is minus 4 over 3, is correct here. I will say my answer is option what? A. That's my answer. This is question number 33. Question number 33 said, if P and Q are fixed point, P and Q is a fixed point, and the X is a point which moves so that XP and XY, the locus of X is a what? That XP is equals to XY. The locus of what? X is what? Dash. Look at the what option given to us. It's a simple thing solution. Let's draw it. We know that if this P and Q is a fixed point, if I fix what? P and Q become a fixed point, P and what? Q become a fixed point. And this man, X, continue moving to be equal at any point. That means this man may be what? Somewhere here, which is what? X, which will be equal at any point. Means that he's moving this way, he move this way, he move this way. At any point he moves. At this point is equal to what? This, and is equals to what? This, and is equals to what? This, and is equals to this. That means it's moving in a circle. Are you get what I'm saying? At each point where it is, wherever it is, this from here to here is something as here to here. If here to here is something as here to here, means that this X, the value of X, is a what? A circle. X is a what? Moving in a circle. So we now say that locus of X is a what? Circle. The locus of X is a what? Circle. Is moving in a what? Circle. The locus of X is a what? Circle. For him to be equal at any point means that the locus of what? X is a circle. Looking at it, we can go to the option, we say A, a straight line, B, a circle. Have you seen it? The perpendicular bisector of the what? No, it cannot be perpendicular bisector. If it is perpendicular bisector, it cannot be moving. They said which moves such that if it is a perpendicular bisector, there's no be anything moves. This which moves is what made this man to be a circle, is moving. So at any point is equal at any point. Just like a pendulum of a what? A bicycle. Pendulum of a bicycle. At each point is equal at this one is equal to this at each point. Pendulum of bicycle. So this is what a locus of a pendulum of a bicycle. This is a pedal, bicycle pedal. The bicycle pedal, the locus of it is just like this, what they asked us here. So our option what? B, which is circle, is the answer. My answer is option what? B, which is circle. This man, the locus of x here is a what? Circle. So can we go to question